June 18, 1815. The battlefield of Waterloo. On one side stood France's most terrifying emperor, Napoleon Bonaparte, and on the other side stood the British and Prussian armies. The breath of London's wealthy people was held tight. If Napoleon won, the London Stock Exchange would be completely destroyed. But if the British Army won, their wealth would multiply many times. But far away from this entire battlefield, there was one man who was going to receive the news of the war's result first: Nathan Rothschild. His secret intelligence network was so fast that when the British Army won, this news reached him 24 hours before even the British government. And from here begins the story of one of the biggest financial frauds in world history. Nathan reached the London Stock Exchange. Without saying anything, he started selling all his shares. People were watching him carefully. Within moments, fear spread across the market. Nathan is selling his shares, which means Napoleon has won. The British have lost. In just a few moments, chaos broke out across the market. Everyone sold their shares for throwaway prices. The entire London Stock Exchange collapsed. And then, at extremely cheap prices, Nathan secretly bought the shares of London's biggest companies and government bonds all by himself. The next day, when the government officially announced that the British Army had won the war, the stock market suddenly touched the sky. And within no time, Nathan Rothschild had become the biggest owner of all Britain overnight. He had taken control of the entire British economy. But this story is not only about one Nathan. This is the story of a mind that turned money itself into its slave. From a small, dirty lane in Frankfurt, Meyer Amschel Rothschild created one rule. He sent his 5 sons to the world's 5 biggest financial centers. Nathan was sent to London. James was sent to Paris. Solomon was sent to Vienna. Karl was sent to Naples. Amschel was kept in Frankfurt itself. Together, these 5 brothers created such a secret system, which today we know by the name international banking. If someone in London had to send money to Paris, he did not need to carry gold on a dangerous journey where robbers could loot him on the way. He would deposit money in the Rothschild Bank of London. In return, he would receive a letter with a secret code. And with the help of that same letter, he could withdraw his money from the Rothschild Bank of Paris. Slowly, the entire flow of the world's money began running through the thinking and network of these 5 brothers. Meyer Amschel Rothschild had one rule, which every coming generation of his family followed with complete loyalty. Give me control of a country's currency and financial system, and then I do not care who makes its laws. After gaining control over money, their biggest and most controversial business began: the business of war. Whenever war happened between 2 countries, both countries needed huge amounts of money to buy weapons, pay their armies, and continue the war. The Rothschild family did not support only one side. They went to both enemy countries. They gave loans to France, and they gave loans to Britain too. They gave loans to Austria, and to Austria's enemies as well. Whoever won the war, whoever lost the war, the Rothschilds never lost. Because the winning country also returned their money with heavy interest, and the losing country became completely buried under the weight of their debt. Even great kings, monarchs, and emperors stood before them with folded hands just to receive one loan. Their debt grew so much that many countries even handed over the control of their central banks into their hands. Today, when you search on Google to find out who the richest man in the world is. Names like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, or Bill Gates appear before you. Their total wealth is shown as $200 or $300 billion. But have you ever thought why the name of a family that has been connected to the world's banking system for the last 250 years does not appear on the Forbes list? The answer is said to be very simple. Their real wealth is never in the name of any one person. They have created such a web of thousands of shell companies, offshore accounts, and private trusts that their wealth becomes completely invisible inside it. Some financial experts believe that if all the assets of the Rothschild family are added together, their total wealth could be in trillions of dollars. So much wealth that entire countries could be bought with it. But the matter is not only about the past. The biggest and most frightening question belongs to today's time. Do you think their power has ended in the 21st century? Absolutely not. Even today, very few people openly talk about whose influence lies behind the world's major Federal Reserve and central banks. But a few years ago, one such news report came out that shook the entire global financial world. It was claimed that an extremely secret meeting takes place, where the 5 most powerful families in the world gather every year inside a closed room and decide which country's economy will become weak in the next year.